Good afternoon, everyone. Hey guys, this is Bruce Marshall from Simpler Trading with the nightly market update for Wednesday, December the 1st. And man, what a way to start out December. I've got the ES here on the chart, and as you can see, um, pretty crazy day today. We've had a lot of crazy days lately. The light gray here is the overnight session, and we were up all night long, higher, 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 and then came out of the gate just screaming straight up here. And I believe we were up, let's see, off this low from off the close or from the low yesterday, 45.60, 46.50. So it's about 90 points, straight up here in the overnight session up to here, and then all of a sudden we just free fell all the way into the close here, and this was caused by the first case of the Omnicom, whatever. I know I'm not saying that correctly, but the first virus, in California is first case reported in California of the new variant. So spooked the market. And of course, we're going down here at the moment. But let's look and take a look at this and move back out like a 10-day chart. You guys know how I like to start kind of small and work my way out. All right, so as you can see, this is a 10-day chart, and we're chopping along. And these are pretty good swings, in themselves. That's pretty big downdraft, then a huge rip higher, and then a big downdraft and a rip higher, and downdraft and a big rip higher, and then we had this today. So, tomorrow, do we get a big bounce here, or is this the start of, the bigger crack in the ice and all that kind of stuff? And let's take a look. Let's go out here on a 1-year chart, and you can see it looks, it looks pretty ugly here. We've been looking at this the last couple of weeks, going this part here is kind of the part that bothered me, because you've got this long basic, uptrend, 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 and then we have all along the way, rally, 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 retrace, rally, retrace, rally, retrace, rally, retrace, rally, and this should have stopped. I know this chart's a little messy, but it should have stopped there, and it didn't. It kept going. We got a couple of big rip higher, and then a sell off, rip higher, and sell off, and all that kind of stuff. And let me zoom in here. So at this point, it really, we talked about this, if you remember, over the last several weeks or more, that at this point I thought this is probably going to break. We're probably going to come down to the fire line here. This red line is a fire line at 4100. And instead, we went vertically straight up for, days and days and days and days. I think it was 21 days or something like that, straight up. And then now the market's can't decide if it wants to keep going or not. And we are obviously now into December, and we are probably still set to have a Santa rally and all that kind of stuff. I have been targeting kind of 4,800 area there. You see that green line? That's the tree line there. But now that we've taken that snow line out, the white line is the snow line. I don't know. Big question mark here. Does this thing bounce or not? And I think even if we do start to work our way down here, of course we'll have some bounces, along the way, and that's kind of how it works. So if this does turn into something, maybe it turns into one of these where we rally, fade, rally, fade, rally, fade, and kind of work our way down here. Maybe we come back to the snow line there. Maybe we come to the skyline where we were here. I don't know. It's a very, very tough call here. But the good thing is that we really don't have to, for the most part, we don't have to do anything but wait and watch. We've been able to trade this thing actually pretty well so far. There's a lot of landmines out there. You got to be careful, but you also have to be careful not to get on too heavily on one side. Like, for example, I don't think it's a good idea probably to get all short right here, thinking this thing is going to go down here, and then and then you get your head ripped off when this thing goes back up here and surprises everybody. So again, I'm trying to be careful not to get on one side or the other too heavily. Let's switch this over to SPX. And as you can see here on SPX, a little clear. We are sitting on our snow line there. Right down into it's a little more favorable on the SPX versus the ES. So I would say if it's going to hold, it really needs to hold here, and at least for a momentary bounce here. And I would, again, I'm still kind of targeting higher areas up here for the end of the year. It's only December 1st, so we've got 31 days for this thing to kind of figure out which way it wants to move. And again, don't be surprised if we get more of this kind of stuff, say between here and here, maybe between maybe it's between here and here. Maybe we do bounce, fail, bounce, fail, bounce, fail, work our way down here, and then start making our way up here. But I'm looking at the rest of the market, and things honestly do not look like they're falling apart to me. So I'm trying to be very, very careful here, and just again not get on the wrong side of this trade. Let's look at the NDX here. Kind of same thing. Pattern looks the same. The one that does look pretty ugly is the rut. I mean, look at that. Talk about fall from grace on the top here. And again we got very close to the fire line up there. It did not get. We should have reached up there and tagged that. We came down here. That green tree line should have held. It did not. So again, very, very, very mixed signals here. And this is a 1-year chart. And so we've had this, for a year, we've had this chop kind of back and forth until we broke out here. And then immediately, from the top here, I mean, that's a long, long way down. So, we got to be careful what's going on with the rut and watch that. It's more important, in my opinion, what's going on with the NASDAQ and the ES, but we need to certainly keep an eye on that. Now, all that being said, what do we do with all this? And I am kind of sitting on my hands. I did a calendar in the SPX. I did a calendar in the NDX today, trying to take advantage of some of that elevated volatility. Other than that, I did get long Lulu. They report next week, so I'm still a little trying to get a kind of a run into earnings here on Lulu. Still looks pretty interesting, but other than that, I'm very, very light, very sitting on a lot of cash, just kind of waiting and watching. So there's not a lot else to do other than just kind of wait and watch and take this thing, not only day by day, but intraday, hour by hour, because again, here, as we can see, this is what you can get during the day, straight up, and everybody gets long here and then straight down, and everybody thinks it's going to bounce. It's going to bounce here. No, it's going to bounce here. It's going to bounce here, and it just doesn't. So be very careful out there. So that's what I've got. I wish I had something more specific, but there's nothing to do but just be careful and be very nimble in this market. And when you get profit, take it. And other than that, we'll just watch and see what happens and plays out over the next, several days. Don't forget, we do have payrolls on Friday, so keep an eye on that. And other than that, let's just watch and see what happens. So thanks for the time. I appreciate it, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Without simpler trading, I could not have financial independence.
This is one of the best investments I ever made in my life.
It's helping me find consistency.
It's one of the things that won me